Every time you have a thought, you make a chemical. And if you have a great thought, or an unlimited thought, or a joyful thought, you turn on a set of circuits in your brain that fires in a very specific sequence, pattern, or combination that produces a level of mind that makes a chemical for you to begin to feel exactly the way you were just thinking, great or unlimited or joyful. Now, if you have a negative thought, or an unhappy thought, or a guilty thought, you turn on a different set of circuits in your brain, and a different sequence, pattern, and combination that creates a different level of mind that signals the brain to make a chemical to match the exact thought you were thinking for you to feel exactly the way you were just thinking, negative or unhappy or guilty. Now, the moment you begin to feel the way you think, because the brain is constantly monitoring the body, you begin to think the way you feel, which makes more chemicals for you to feel the way you think, and then you think the way you feel, and then you feel the way you think, and you think the way you feel, and then you feel the way you think, and then you think the way you feel, and you do this for years on end. And the cycle of thinking and feeling and thinking over time creates what I call a state of being. Now, a state of being is when your mind and body are working together, when your thoughts and feelings are aligned to a destiny. Now, thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. And how you think and how you feel creates a state of being. So would you agree then, if you thought an insecure thought, that in a matter of seconds you would begin to feel insecure? And the moment you begin to feel insecure, isn't it going to drive more insecure thoughts? Which is going to cause you to feel more insecure, and then you're going to think more insecure thoughts, then you're going to feel more insecure. And then you're going to say over time, I am insecure. And whenever you say, I am anything, you're commanding your mind and body towards a destiny. Now, the redundancy of this cycle of thinking and feeling and thinking over time conditions the body to memorize that state as well as the conscious mind. And whenever the body knows as well as the mind, that's called a habit. A habit is when your body is the mind. Now, 95% of who you are by the time you're 35 years old is a set of memorized behaviors, emotional reactions, beliefs, perceptions, and attitudes that function just like a computer program. You subconsciously become the mind of that state. 95%. So now it's going to come time to change, and you're going to use 5% of your conscious mind to think positively, while you've been running the cycle of negativity for the last 35 years. And then you're going to create your dream board, with your hairstyle and your SUV and your fingernails and the big house behind you and a kid in the back with a perfect smile in the car seat. But you're going to feel unworthy. That's mind and body in opposition. You see, we have to recondition the body to a new mind. And that's where greatness comes in. So then, if you keep thinking and feeling and thinking in the same way over time, just like any program, the body will know how to do it better than your conscious mind. And when the body becomes the mind, now you're in a habit. And a habit is an unconscious, automatic set of thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that is acquired through frequent repetition. So then, you can't consciously remember your PIN number because you had 3 glasses of wine downtown in Austin. But then you walk over, you look at the keyboard, you can't consciously remember the number, but then all of a sudden your fingers press the number. How did that happen? You practiced it so many times that your body knew better than your brain. And that's where most of our personality exists. Now, how do we get this way? Feelings and emotions are the end product of past experiences. And you can remember experiences better because you can remember how they feel. Now, when you're in the midst of an experience, everything you're seeing and smelling and tasting and feeling and hearing, all of your 5 senses plug you into the environment. And as you're in the midst of that event, all of this data is rushing back to your brain through those 5 different sensory pathways. The moment that information reaches your brain, it causes jungles of neurons to begin to organize themselves into networks. The moment those neurons string into place, the brain makes a chemical, and that chemical is called a feeling or an emotion. Now, because emotions tend to last longer, long-term memories, you can remember your first kiss. You can remember graduating from high school. You can remember a promotion, your wedding day, being proposed to, the birth of your children. You can remember going on vacation and catching a fish off the coast of Mexico and eating it with your friends and drinking great wine and feeling the breeze and seeing the sunset. But the problem is you can't remember what you had for dinner the night before, right? Because routine lulls the brain to sleep. And most Americans can tell you exactly where they were on 9/11. They could tell you who they were with, what time of day it was, and what they were doing. Because everything that you were seeing and hearing changed your internal state. And the moment you felt differently inside of you, you woke up and you paid attention to what caused it outside of you. And that event in and of itself is called a memory. So then think about this. If feelings and emotions are the end product of past experiences, and you're feeling the same way every single day, what does that mean? Nothing new is happening in your life? If feelings and emotions are the end product of past experiences, and you can't think greater than how you feel, or feelings have become the means of thinking, are you thinking in the future or are you thinking in the past? And as long as you told me that your thoughts have something to do with your destiny, as long as you're thinking equal to how you feel and you're thinking in the past, you keep creating more of the quantum model of reality is still working for you. Now, your body is your unconscious mind. And it does not know the difference between an actual experience in your life that creates an emotion and an emotion that you can fabricate by thought alone. To the body, it's exactly the same. So if you're thinking and feeling in this loop for years on end, your body as the unconscious mind is believing it's in the same past experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. The body literally believes it's in the past. And if you condition the body to be the mind of that emotion, then the body literally is in the past. And you can't create a new future while your body's living in the past. So now, when we react to something or someone in our life, the chemical change that's created in the body is called a refractory period in science. So you react to someone or something, and all of a sudden you feel different chemically, and you don't know how to control your emotional reaction to that event, and those emotions last for hours or days. That's called a mood. Have the same refractory period going on for weeks or months. That's called a temperament. And if you keep that same refractory period going on for years on end, that's called a personality trait. And people wear their emotions layer by layer, and they believe that's who they are. That is not who they are. So then, would you agree with me then that in order to change your personality, you would have to look at the emotions that you've memorized that's become part of your identity? Now, did you hear me say, go back and look at the event and analyze the event? No, it has nothing to do with the event. When you free yourself from those emotions, then that's when you begin to liberate energy, because the body is no longer enslaved to the past.